right, thank you everyone for being so patient, and thank you so much for joining us this evening for our MBA webinar, where we're going to have a conversation with Professor Anuj Mehrotra. As we get started tonight, just wanted to kind of give you a brief intro on how this is going to work. Should be about 30 minutes long. It may be a little over, and that's okay if you have to leave. Please feel free to jump off if you have to. The session will be recorded, and we'll be getting that out to everyone, hopefully by the end of the week as well. We'd love for an interactive session, so this, we are definitely here for you. So please feel free to ask questions throughout the entire session. Please don't feel like you have to wait till the very end to get your questions answered. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter with #UOnlineMBA. A brief introduction. My name, very quickly, is Carissa Johnson. I'm actually the enrollment manager here for our UOnline program. And now I'd like to actually introduce our featured speaker tonight, Dr. Anuj Mehrotra. Dr. Mehrotra, would you like to introduce yourself and say hi to our invitees this evening?
Hello everybody, good evening, at least from where I am, it is good evening. Thank you, Carissa. As Carissa pointed out, I am Anuj Mehrotra. I am a professor of management science here at the School of Business Administration at the University of Miami. And I have been here for almost 21 years at this point. And before that, I got my PhD in management science from Georgia Tech and my master's from Virginia Tech in management science, before which I was in India, actually, earning my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from Birla Institute of Technology and Science. Before I came to Miami, I spent a couple of years at IBM Research, as well as the Tepper School, now Tepper School of Business at Carnegie Mellon. And it has just been an amazing experience at Miami, and I'm looking forward to telling you and talking to you about some of the innovative things that we have been doing here, including one of these programs that you are interested in possibly. So let me hand it over to Carissa, who can hopefully go over the agenda so that we can get the conversation started. Welcome again, everybody.
Perfect. So this evening, our agenda, we'd like to discuss definitely some of the goals for the Online MBA, go over the program structure, and really talk about some of the really exciting things of the program, which is the orientation weekend, as well as the Miami residency. We'll discuss a little bit of admissions information and probably get some of your questions answered at that point as well. And then again, questions and answers we can take throughout the entire session, so please don't feel like you have to wait until the very end to go through them. Dr. Mehrotra, as we move forward here, can you tell me a little bit about what the approach was when developing this online program?
Sure, Carissa. I think, as you know, we have talked about it many times. We feel that higher education overall is at a point of disruption. Higher education, particularly business education, is at a point where schools need to be innovative. People receive education in different modes, different ways. If you go back a couple of decades, the only program that people used to have was the on-campus, face-to-face program, full-time MBA program. And of course, that changed over the last few years into executive MBA programs, satellite programs, partner programs, and whatnot. And there's clearly been, and we have been talking about it for a few years, a need for the flexibility that an online MBA program provides. What we did not want to do was to get into a program without having complete faith and complete confidence that we are in a position to deliver a very high quality, if not better than what we offer on face-to-face education. And now with all the technology that is available and our commitment to online programs, where we started, of course, with some of our flagship programs that we converted into hybrid programs, and we really learned a lot from those as well, and are learning a lot about how wonderful this platform can be and how transformational it is in terms of the way people can learn and the way people can teach. And we wanted to make sure, the key part was we wanted to make sure that the program that we offer is a top-notch, top-quality program, because we wanted the University of Miami name behind it. And we wanted to make sure that we are offering a program that really helps develop well-rounded business leaders. And of course, we wanted to start with our most popular program that we offer on campus, our professional MBA program that we have had a lot of experience with the curriculum and with all the nuances that go with education today, as education world is changing and the world is globalizing more and more from the education perspective. So that was some of the thought process: offer our best program, or offer a great experience for the students, offer our most popular program that we have experience with online, and to do it right and use the technology to its fullest, provide the flexibility and increase the reach of this program to folks who are outside of South Florida who could only come to the professional MBA program if they were local. So those were some of the thought processes.
Excellent. And we do have a quick question that came in here. So one of our students would actually like to know, how much time would you recommend or, advise that a student should set aside for each one of these courses?
So when we go through the coursework, I can go a little bit more into detail, but a course can be a 4-credit or a 3-credit course. And of course, what we expect, typically a good formula is to say that for every hour of seat time that you're going to be in learning, you're going to have to spend 3 to 4 hours outside of that, whether it is through homeworks, whether it is through reading, and things of that kind. So that's a typical formula. This is no different than whether you were to do the program online or whether you were to do a face-to-face program. There is the same rigor, the same courses, the same content, the same faculty, and it's a 42-credit program, as you can see on the structure of this online program. And it takes around 2 years to complete if you are going to utilize the optional Miami residency, which I will go a little bit more into detail of. But we expect a rigorous commitment from a rigorous program that requires that commitment from the student also. And basically, if you think in terms of having 1 hour spent in the classroom, you should probably think in terms of spending 3 to 4 hours outside of that to learn and to absorb that material and to participate in projects or in team projects, or whether they are homeworks or exercises. I do want to stress one of the other things, that it is, some of the things that you could be learning, and we will be offering it during orientation, the ability to meet our faculty and to meet our alums. But, the key part here is really our faculty is very committed and dedicated to this program at this point. And one of the features that I also mentioned earlier, we wanted to do it right. And this is the time when our faculty has stepped up and said, this is what we want to do. And the faculty who are participating in this program are the faculty who have been teaching for a while in the professional MBA program here and have a lot of experience. So I don't know whether there are other questions coming up or not. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about the faculty.
That would be great. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the great faculty that we have in this program?
Right. Carissa, the faculty that we are utilizing, as I mentioned, in this program, or who are stepping up to develop these courses and deliver these courses, are the same faculty who have been teaching in this professional MBA program on campus. And I'm really proud of the faculty, all my colleagues here. One of the things that I feel very, it's very important is to realize that the University of Miami is a research institution. So what that comes back with is that a faculty's one of their main contributions is to advance the research. And these are faculty members who are either editors of journals, they are writing books, they have been invited by the media to comment on what is happening in the business world. They are extremely experienced, and of course, being a small private institution, we are also very focused on teaching in the classroom, or teaching in this case on the virtual classroom. And that's part and parcel of the kind of faculty we attract. It is important for them not only to be, of course, doing state-of-the-art research and be experts in their domains, but also to transfer that knowledge into a classroom or facilitate that conversation. So a lot of these faculty have been teaching in our executive MBA programs and have been also consulting with various companies and whatnot. So they bring a combination of state-of-the-art knowledge with the practical and corporate side of their experience into the classroom, and that's part and parcel of this program through every course that you're going to be taking.
Dr. Mehrotra, there was another question that came in, and it essentially involves the faculty as well. I think that this would be a good segue actually into our next slide. You know, are the same faculty that are teaching our online courses, will they actually be teaching, you had mentioned the Miami residency. Can you speak a little bit to that and maybe how it's set up, and, you know, kind of who will be facilitating it, and some additional information on that?
Sure. I think if you look at the course sequence which is showing up and all the courses, these are the same courses that we are teaching in our professional MBA program that is face-to-face. And the professional MBA program has room for a couple of credits of elective as well. And that's what we wanted to make sure we also have that feature available in the online MBA that we are offering. So the Miami residency, or the elective course that students will be able to take when they visit here for a week and that's the same kind of model that we use in our executive MBA program, where folks travel, for example, in the global MBA program, for example, from all over Latin America. They spend a whole week to be able to get one course. It's an intense experience, and but at the same time, we have a lot of experience conducting those executive type of courses to be able to make sure that the students gain a lot from that course. So it will be the same faculty who have been teaching in the classroom here, whether they have been teaching in the week-long programs or whether they teach on a weekly programs. It's the same faculty who will be, of course, teaching this elective in the residency, and they are some of the most senior faculty who have a lot of experience in conducting such intense classes, which the students actually just enjoy a lot. It gives also a residency experience, also gives an opportunity for the students to not only get to know the faculty more, the school more, but to experience it in person as well as to get to know their cohort and other students from other programs well. So we are hoping that when folks come over for residency, they will also be in a position to be able to spend some time with some of our other program students as well, and that will help expand the network of students that people will be knowing and learning in different ways. Some of them will be in hybrid programs, some of them could be in our face-to-face programs, and of course these students will be coming will be in our online programs, and that's going to be a terrific experience. We look forward to that residency.
Can you expand a little bit more on the orientation weekend, and maybe
Sure.
what students will be doing during that weekend?
Sure. I think the orientation weekend is also basically to, again, get the students engaged with the campus to know what their home is, whether they are accessing it virtually or whether they are, and it increases the sense of belonging to the university from that perspective. It also gives them an opportunity, again, as I said, to meet with the other students who would be in their classroom. So they attach an in-person experience with them before they actually work on virtual teams, for example. It also gives an opportunity for us, for the students coming in during the orientation weekend, to meet our staff, meet the faculty as well, who will be talking about each of these courses at that time, on what they'll get, and then to get some sense of personality of each faculty member. And it will be a much better experience if folks come in and meet with the faculty and then learn from them on online as well. Part of the orientation will also be dedicated then to hopefully include a campus tour, so that particularly students who are traveling from out of town will have the opportunity to enjoy the campus for a day, as well as meet with each other. And we will also invite some alumni from our professional MBA program to come in and speak about their experience and why they did their MBA, how has MBA changed their life, and things of that kind. So those are some of the things, and maybe the students will get some pointers from our alumni and faculty on how to study for each course separately, or what should be the main focus from a student perspective. Because oftentimes I keep telling students, for example, that you got your undergraduate degree and you got your grades and whatnot, and that was a time to be able to get into graduate school or get a job. And this is the time really to invest in yourself, to invest in the future, because as you go through, I was struck by a comment many schools made to my daughter as I was going through a college tour, where they were talking about, unlike my generation, where we were looking for the first job, for example, where we would be defining our careers and maybe have 1 or 2 jobs in our career. In today's date, students who are graduating are probably going to be in 12 to 15 jobs in their lifetime, half of which have not been created. So it is important for our curriculum to reflect that. It's important for us as educators to understand that not only do we have to prepare the students to make use of their MBA immediately, but also to prepare them to either create those jobs which have not been created or to be able to take those jobs which have not been created in their lifespan. So those are important characteristics of a good program, and we hope that we will be able to cater to that as well.
Thank you for explaining that a little bit further. I know that you had, you were speaking about the excellent faculty and their engagement, within the orientation and being able to meet them, during the residency and interacting with them. Can you speak a little bit to how, what the expectation for engagement with the professors in the online class will be in this program?
Absolutely. I think as is usual, in any course, the faculty, when they are teaching a particular online course, that is important. When they are teaching a course, that is important to them. And what certainly the students will have an opportunity on a weekly basis to have office hours with our faculty. Different faculty, of course, function differently. So, for example, there is a range of faculty. Some faculty may end up, even in face-to-face programs, giving out their cell phone numbers to be called at 2 a.m. Others are more inclined to use their email. So it depends a little bit from faculty to faculty, but regardless of the mode of communication, every faculty member is going to have at least weekly office hours for the students to be able to communicate. And there will be other modes of either blogs or whatever exchanges and chats that will be available for the students to contact the faculty. And of course, email always works.
Thank you for going through that a little bit further in depth. We do have another question from a student, and they kind of want to know, what would you recommend? Would you recommend the Miami residency versus a different online course for that elective? I'm sure there's positive and negatives to both. Can you speak to that a little bit?
See, I see much more positive with the Miami residency because it gives, for the factors that I was stating, it's a great idea to come in and experience the campus for yourself, and experience the faculty in person, experience your other students in person, and for a week-long time, if you are in a position to be able to spend that week away from work and then be here for an intense residency, that immersion course, I think there is a lot to gain from it. On the other hand, we certainly understand that the reason why folks a lot of times choose this online program is for that flexibility and convenience, where it is complicated and difficult for them to be able to get away from work and or travel from out of town to come into this residency course. In which case, we did want to provide that option for the students to be able to take an alternative online course, which is of course available for them instead of the residency experience. So it's a matter of how flexible their schedule is. Are they in a position to be able to come to Miami for a week and take that course? And if not, we will offer an online alternative or an online elective for the students.
Excellent.
There is one other advantage, Chris, if I may add, that if you take the Miami residency, then the student will be in a position to complete this in 2 years. If they are not going to take the Miami residency, it might extend by a few weeks.
That's a very, very good point. And that definitely is very important for a lot of people. Time to completion, I know that we do get a lot of questions on that from prospective students as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you've really given us a lot of great information about the program and all of the different components of it, who is the ideal candidate that you're really looking for this program?
That's an excellent question, and we get a lot of questions about our admissions requirements and what they are, and I know you are very familiar with that because you're advising the students. But as you know, we want to make sure that we are admitting students who are going to be set up for success. So we have we have a very holistic way of looking at an applicant. We want to measure certain qualities when a student is applying, when an applicant is applying, and we look for certain things. Primary among them, of course, is whether this student is going to be able to complete the program, whether the student is academically ready, and the readiness is important for that. And there are many ways of looking at what readiness means, and various modes of trying to judge that. But among those is, of course, how well a student may have done, for example, in an undergraduate institution, what kind of institution and what kind of a background that the student is bringing. And we may look at for some particular courses, for example, to say, have they had the right courses, and are they going to be able to manage the rigor of an MBA program? For example, we may ask for, is the student really demonstrating, leadership qualities or good attempts to be able to progress in their career? So we will ask for a resume to look for career progression and possibility for success, and how important this MBA may play a role for the student to be able to succeed. So primarily among those are things like that, where we may also look for somebody to be able to come back and speak to their abilities through letters of recommendation, for example. Often we will require a personal statement from a student to show why they want to do this, because we want to make sure that the student is driven. The student is wanting to do this MBA for the right reason, is in the right place to be able to succeed. But all of these factors are important because we want to make sure that not only are we admitting a student because they are going to be able to succeed, but also because they are contributing and others are going to gain from it. So we don't want anybody's experience to be less than the others. So we try to build a class which is a holistic overall. Everybody is admitted into the class because they're going to bring something special to the class as a team, because part of the MBA is to develop this network. And these are the folks that people get close to, whether they are learning online or whether they are learning face-to-face. And they are their best champions. And in case of international students, for example, we may also make sure that they have the right English skills. So we may ask for TOEFL scores, for example. Obviously in sometimes for when we find that there is some kind of a weakness or something else is not completely speaking to the committee, where we are in a position to make an easy decision, where we are not confident that the person is ready, we will look at the GMAT scores, for example, and see, well, you may have gotten a little bit poor grade in one particular course as an undergraduate, but you're showing sufficient readiness through demonstrating some kind of a good performance on the GMAT score. So all of these, it's a holistic approach. We want to look for all of these factors, but the key message there is we want to make sure that when we admit a student, that student is ready and is going to succeed and is going to be able to take this MBA and run with it for further success.
Thank you so much for explaining that a little bit more. I definitely wanted to also just add that there is still plenty of time to apply for our September start. The deadline is not until August 17th. Still, again, plenty of time. As we move forward, and if you do have additional questions or things of that nature, we have enrollment advisors here ready to speak with you and answer those questions. If you do move forward to proceeding to starting your application or inquiring further about the program, you will be assigned a dedicated enrollment advisor as well that will help you through that entire admissions process, along with everything from getting your, making sure that you've got your books to getting registered and things like that. Thank you so much, Dr. Mehrotra, for taking some time to chat with us this evening. I hope that everyone has definitely found it very, very helpful. And also, if those of you that attended this evening, if you really enjoyed tonight and you definitely want to know and learn a little bit more about how the classroom is set up and some of the exciting things that we have going on within that classroom, we are doing another webinar to actually walk through some of those exciting parts about the classroom. It will be held on August 5th, and some email invites will be going out later this week. So thank you again, Dr. Mehrotra. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you very much, everybody who was attending. Enjoyed it very much. And good luck.
Thank you, and have a great evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.